Hi everyone, today I'll be talking about discourse ability and metalinguistic awareness. From birth to 2 years old, young babies have conversations by making eye contact and exchanging coos or babbles with caretakers. During early childhood, which is from the age of 3 to 8 years old, children are then able to take turns during conversations and sustain a topic with only a few conversational turns. By the time late childhood arrives, which is 9 to 12 years old, children are then able to acquire a mature ability to engage in conversation for the exchange of information.
In 1983, Brown and Yule determined two discourse abilities. Number 1, interactional discourse, performs primarily a social function. Number 2, transactional discourse is where communicating information is the chief purpose. One of the important aspects to transactional discourse will be to evaluate the communication needs of the person we are speaking to, and this is only an ability that develops gradually during late childhood. One of the examples of this ability will be the child's use of pronouns. To communicate successfully, the reference of each pronoun must be retrieved and understood by the listener. Young children during late childhood are well known to produce pronouns whose referents are ambiguous. For example, in this sentence, Joanna and Lynn were walking their dogs. Suddenly, they tripped and fell into the fountain of water. The word they could refer to Joanna and Lynn or the dogs. So, who fell into the water? Interface phenomenon is the use of pronouns, which means that syntactic devices, pronouns, serve a non-linguistic goal, which is communication. Another part of language use that develops in late childhood will be the ability to create a narrative, or to tell a story. Stories told by young children tend to be very simple, made up of a few loosely connected sentences. Narratives or stories told by older children have a simple plot of main characters, problem, and an overall purpose. The ability to create narratives is very closely related to the ability to conduct discourse.
To engage in transactional discourse and create continuative narratives greatly depend on each individual, not only with children, but with adults too. In comparison to grammatical development, where all individuals in a language community are able to acquire a complete grammar by the age of 4 or 5, mature and successful communication skills are mastered at different ages by different children, and may tend to vary in adult speakers too. Now, moving on to metalinguistic awareness. Metalinguistic awareness is probably the most important skill that develops later in childhood, as the skills highly correspond with early reading abilities. So, what is metalinguistic skills? It is the awareness of language as an object instead of a vehicle for communication.
Metalinguistic skills consist of the ability to appreciate and explain metaphors, puns, and figurative language. There are 3 metalinguistic skills that will be discussed in this video: phonological awareness, ambiguity detection, and awareness of ungrammaticality. Phonological awareness is to be able to perceive speech as a string of phonological units. To break it down, a phoneme is a speech sound. It is the smallest unit of language and has no meaning. Phonological awareness is then the ability to identify and manipulate the units of oral language, parts such as words, syllables, onsets, and rhymes. When children learn to read, they must acquire letter-sound correspondence, that is, the relationship between letters and phonemes, to retrieve the pronunciation of a printed word or how to spell words. Many tests that have been conducted on phonological awareness correlate with early reading skills. The tests available nowadays in books or online test children on rhyming, segmentation, isolation, deletion, substitution, and blending. For example, a child could be asked to substitute the d in dot with a p, making the word pot.
The second metalinguistic skill that we would look into would be ambiguity detection. Ambiguity detection develops in late preschool and early school years and is highly correlated with reading skills. Children around this age develop the ability to discover lexical ambiguity. For example, only children with strong reading skills will be able to appreciate this joke. As concluded by Peters and Zeidel in 1980, children below the age of 4 do not recognize that the word for flying bat and the word for a baseball bat sound the same. Therefore, they did not see the ambiguity of the sentence, "The boy saw a bat in the park." Structural ambiguity is harder for children to detect. For example, "Come meet our new French pastry chef." Is it referring to the fact that they have a new chef from France, or that their new chef cooks French pastry? It is possible that ambiguity detection, like phonological awareness, will be used in future reading programs. It could also be used to identify children at risk for reading difficulty and help struggling readers. Last but not least, the final metalinguistic skill, awareness of ungrammaticality. This is to be able to detect and correct grammatical errors. Word order errors and errors of reflexive pronoun agreement are easy to detect. On the other hand, errors in subject-verb agreement are more difficult to pinpoint. Thank you for watching, and I hope I contributed to the better understanding of your knowledge to this topic.